Hey everyone, Miss GoElectric here. Now some riders will tell you that 2 wheels is not enough, and that might be because they want to bring a lot of cargo with them and have a more stable ride, or maybe they want a more comfortable riding experience, or maybe even they have some mobility limitations. And trikes are a really big segment, and I've reviewed some before, but Lectric has come out with their XP Trike 2.0, and they've included quite a bit of refinements for under $2,000. So today I'm gonna go over the specifications and features of this trike, and then we're gonna take it out for a ride and see how it performs. And then I'm gonna share my final thoughts on the things I really like about this bike, and also the things and opportunities for improvement that they can make to make this bike better for the next iteration.
The Lectric XP Trike 2.0 is shipped as a Class 1 device. The motor is set to provide assistance at speeds up to 12 miles per hour. This trike can be unlocked to a higher top speed of 14 miles per hour and operate as a Class 2 model with the half-twist throttle enabled. The XP Trike 2.0 has a 500-watt motor on the rear axle, which can deliver up to 1,092 watts peak with 65 Newton-meters of torque. The pedal assistance is activated by a cadence sensor on this particular model. In September of 2025, a 750-watt version with 1,310 watts peak, a top speed of 17 miles per hour, larger battery, and a torque sensor will be available. The UL2271 certified battery for the 500-watt model operates at 48 volts with a capacity of 13 amp hours. That is equivalent to 624 watt-hours. Lectric's 750-watt model will have a 17.5 amp hour battery equivalent to 840 watt-hours. The battery can be locked to the frame and no key is required to operate the trike. The battery also can be easily removable for charging on board or detached. The company includes a 2-amp charger which should deliver a full charge in about 5 to 7 hours. An optional 5-amp charger is available which can provide a full charge in about 3 hours. Lectric advertises a maximum range of up to 50 miles for the 13 amp hour battery configuration and up to 70 miles with the 17.5 amp hour battery. The XP Trike 2.0's aluminum step-through frame comes in several fun color options for both the 500 and 750 watt configuration, including Stratus White, Tempest Gray, Glacier Blue, Dusk Blue, Lavender Haze, and Phoenix Red. There's only one frame size which supports riders from 4 foot 10 inches to 6 foot 2 inches. It also has an IPX5 rating for water resistance. The handlebar stem has an adjustable height, and it can fold down for space savings. The trike weighs 79 pounds without the 7-pound standard battery. It can support a total maximum payload capacity of 415 pounds with a rider weight maximum of 330 pounds, a rear cargo capacity of 75 pounds, and a front rack capacity of 30 pounds. These are Star Union hydraulic brakes with 180mm rotors that are 2.3 millimeters thick. The trike has a fixed gear chain transmission. The front fork suspension offers 50 millimeters of travel. All three 20-inch tires are 2.5 inches wide and offer puncture resistance with slime applied to the tubes at the factory for self-sealing. The colorful TFT display is simple and easy to read with a USB-C port to power devices from the trike's battery. The integrated headlight and brake lights with turn signals are standard. The XP Trike 2.0 also comes with parking brakes on each axle, fenders, a suspension seat post, and a bell. It also has cruise control functionality. Lectric offers an impressive variety of accessories that includes pet trailers, baskets, cooler bags, and a unique overhead canopy. XP Trike 2.0 owners get Lectric's 1-year warranty and free shipping when they buy direct. They claim their service network consists of over 500 plus bike shops nationwide.
All right, those specifications and features look pretty good, so now it's time to take it out on the trail. Now this here is my Unit 1 Aura helmet, and it's quickly becoming my favorite e-bike helmet, and it has a ton of really cool features.
The integrated front and rear lights here also function as turn signals. My favorite feature is the crash detection system. Sensors in the helmet communicate with the Unit 1 mobile app to send an SOS message to your emergency contact if you crash and are unresponsive to a safety check. The helmet has a magnetic brim, which accommodates this default visor, or optional magnetic lenses, including this one, which dynamically transitions tint levels with up to 100% UV protection in dynamic lighting environments while riding. This helmet has several safety certifications, including MIPS, and is designed to protect e-bike riders traveling up to 28 miles per hour. Plus, I think Unit 1 helmets, backpacks, and other accessories look awesome.
All right, now it's time to take it out on the trail. So usually I like to start off my e-bike reviews with just pedaling without any power. Something to note about this bike is that there is no shifting, so you have a fixed gear, and this is kind of a heavy bike. It's just shy of 80 pounds. So I wouldn't want to be pedaling for too long because you also have the two wheels in the back, that something you might not want to combat. So I would definitely not run out of battery and have to pedal on your own for too long with this trike. But I have moved up to the eco mode. Now, something I want to point out here is that it's very mild in this eco mode, but with this particular bike, it has just the cadence sensor. So basically that means as I pedal, it will detect that I want power and it will kick in. And Lectric generally does a pretty good job with their cadence sensors. They're fairly responsive, but it will take you maybe a rotation or so in order for that power to kick in. So just be mindful of that. The larger battery that you can get, a 17 amp hour battery, that one has a combination of a 750 watt powertrain setup, but that one actually has the ability to choose between the cadence sensor and the torque sensor. So it has those two options. If that's something that you would prefer, it is not available on this lower end trim for the trike, but this is a lower price point. I think that's like a $300 difference. So I'm gonna bump this up to those faster speeds and just see how comfortable it is. Now, with other e-bikes, when you do get up to these top speeds and you start shifting, you get a little bit more resistance, so just be mindful. You'll probably have some ghost pedaling as well. I love these grips, nice and comfortable. I am in a very, very upright position. So that's kind of the nice thing here, is that you get a really nice, comfortable ride and a comfortable position on a trike, and you can bring a lot of gear with you if you want. This particular one that I have has a basket on the back, and so they don't come with it, but you can option to get it, and I personally would recommend that just to get the most utility out of it, unless you already have, of course, something that could accommodate that. Taking these nimble little turns here, it's doing all right with those tight turns. A lot of power even just in this sport mode, and I do like how Lectric has gone in the direction of color coding their display screen with the different pedal assist modes to indicate, you know, how much power you're going to get and what is kind of like the ideal use case for your different modes. So you got, you know, eco, you have touring, you have sport, sport plus, and turbo mode. So you have all 5 pedal assistance modes, and it can get up to speed pretty quickly. I will say that when you start just pedaling a little bit, it gets to that top speed of about 14 miles per hour. But this performance feels great, and I like this riding position. It's very comfortable. They've done a great job with integrating this seat in particular. And the brakes are really nice. They're hydraulic, so they're super powerful. I'm actually gonna stop here. Nobody's on this road here, and I'm gonna do a throttle test real quick. All right, let's go. Very smooth, gradual speed, and that throttle immediately kicks off that 15 mile per hour mark. So it gets you up to speed quick, but it's really smooth. Another thing I like about this is the handlebar positioning. Now I can extend it up a little bit too, so it can accommodate a lot of different sizes of riders because of that. But you can also, with this like BMX style handlebar system, you can put like your phone mount here or a cup holder mount here, so you can make it really easy. It's a lot of space on the handlebar system to be able to customize it and make it really even more comfortable and personalized for your needs. And I love that they have a bell on here. It's just one of those things that, you know, if you're gonna buy a bike like this for this use case, you want to have fenders, which this has. You want to have a bell. And the fact that this has turn signals is just a really nice added bonus for this price point, I should say. Now, as far as range goes, I'm at about 70% state of charge. You probably want to cycle out the battery maybe 5 full times in order to get the best, most accurate reading. And that goes for pretty much any e-bike. You know, usually I tell people get close to cutting it in half as far as the range goes, and that's basically what you can expect. But if you're someone that it just needs minimal help, then you can expect more a lot of the time. And every little bump is getting smoothed out real nicely with this front suspension fork. It's 50 millimeters of travel. And between that and the tires are, you know, in my opinion, they're not too wide and they're not too thin. They've done a great job of balancing that for, you know, better efficiency, but also giving you the stability that you're looking for, especially in a trike application. I'm just gonna do a quick little loop to see how the performance is, and you can see my wheel is coming up a little bit on the one side, so you gotta be careful, you know, doing these turns and circles too tightly because you could lift up on one side, but keeping that eco mode and going a pretty tight circle, and it's keeping all 3 wheels on the ground. So I like the stability of this. So let's head back and I'm going to share my final thoughts on the Lectric XP Trike 2.0. I always start these reviews with the opportunities for improvement, so let's talk about those. And the first one has to deal with cable management. The cables are on the exterior of the bike and they're draped in a fashion that they could get snagged on something. And that's particularly notable because this is a folding bike. And if you're trying to push it into a car or anything like that, it's just another opportunity for them to get snagged on or something maybe even getting damaged. Another thing about the cables is that they're just not aesthetically pleasing, and either is the battery on this bike. It looks more like a DIY project, so I wish it was either integrated or they had something that was covering it up to make it look more like a refined consumer product. The next opportunity for improvement has to deal with anti-theft technology. Now, there is no passcode locking or anything like that to prevent anyone from taking this bike. Obviously, you can lock it up with a bike chain, but this is the type of trike that I could see a lot of people using in an urban environment, and so to have those security features would be helpful. And I know this might be asking a lot, but there are other bikes in this price range that are starting to offer app support, so if they could add that too, that'd be wonderful. App technology usually offers things like GPS location tracking or geofencing, or maybe even locking out a motor or anything like that. So it'd be great if Lectric started integrating more app technology. And believe it or not, those are really the only 2 critiques that I have for this bike. It is a wonderful trike, and I think they've done a lot of really great things to refine this even further from the previous generation. Now, I had mentioned before that this is the entry-level model, so it has the smaller motor, it also has a cadence sensor, and it has the smaller 13 amp hour battery. So I actually have taken it upon myself to integrate infinite range here, and you might be wondering what this is, but it is a Grecell lithium iron phosphate battery that is portable. This is the T1 and it's rated for 2200 watts of output with over 4000 watts peak, and it has over a kilowatt hour of energy stored in it. So basically what that means is that I can charge up this battery full twice just on this device, but I've actually connected this up to a solar panel out here, which is 100 watts. So I'm actually inputting some energy into this bigger battery right now while I'm outputting and filling up my e-bike. And obviously you can take this out camping or have other use cases for it, but I love that it fits on the back of this trike perfectly within the basket. And this is very capable as far as how much weight it can support. It's a 75-pound payload back here, and this is only 35 pounds. So to be able to strap in the battery and the solar panel and put it in here and still have a stable ride is really awesome. And the great thing about the Grecell is that it has a 3,000 cycle lifespan, so you could charge it up every single day for a decade. It has a 2-year warranty and it's listed at about $800, but I do have a discount code, so if you want to learn more and explore that, then I'll put it in the description below. So that brings me to the positives of the Lectric XP Trike 2.0, and that first one has to be talking about cargo. Now this can support a payload of up to 75 pounds, as I had mentioned, but I love the fact that there are a lot of different accessories. So whether that you put the basket on the back or you have the front basket that can support 30 pounds. So the overall payload capacity of this bike is pretty impressive. And this feels very stable to ride. Even when you have a lot in the back cargo area, it is much more stable than what you would get out of a 2-wheel cargo bike from my experience. So I've been really happy with how it feels riding, even with a load back here. Another great thing about this bike is that it comes full featured, so it pretty much has everything that you would want. It has fenders, it has an integrated front headlight that's really big, and also an integrated rear light that has a brake light and turn signals, which is really neat. And then it also has a new display computer that is very legible, very easy to read. It's large format, and the menus are really easy to navigate through. It also has a USB-C port on the bottom of the display, so it makes it super easy for you to maybe even put a phone right on the handlebars, because there's a lot of space for that, and plug it right into the display so that you are charging up using the bike's battery. And one big bonus for this bike is that it has cruise control. So if you do plan on taking longer trips on a solid straightaway and you want to be able to just set it and forget it, you can do that here. I also like that they incorporated this bell as well. It's a nice polite way to let people know that you're coming. Another positive has to be the comfort factor here, and that's not only because it's a wide seat and it has this nice backrest that you can adjust up and down, but it's also because this has a suspension seat post and it's 40 millimeters of travel, so it gives you that extra cushion along with what you already have as far as this front suspension with 50 millimeters of travel and a little bit from the tires. Now there's also comfort when it comes to getting on and off the bike because it has a very low step through. So even if you have any kind of mobility limitations, this is really easy to get on and off. And this bike is really quiet, so that adds to the experience. It's smooth and you can't really hear it when you're accelerating much. So I really love the combination of the power delivery and how quiet this bike is. Trike. And another great thing that I like about this bike is the performance and power, and the fact that they have adjusted this so that you can customize it whether you're a beginner or if you want to ride it in a standard mode. And I think that top speed of 15 miles per hour is appropriate for this. It's just perfect. And with that power, you need great stopping performance, and they've done a great job integrating these hydraulic brakes. And not only that, but there are 2 parking brakes, one for the front and one for the rear. So even if you're by yourself and you're loading this up and it's maybe cockeyed on a hill or anything like that, you can easily clamp these down and the bike's not going to go anywhere. One thing I really love to see is that Lectric has integrated UL certification for their batteries and their electrical components. So this has both 2849 certification and 2271 for the battery, so it really gives you peace of mind. And lastly, it has to deal with the assembly process. I had this shipped directly to my home and built it there, and it took maybe about 30 minutes, so it was a pretty easy process. And that also brings me to the point of talking about Lectric's dealer network. They do have a lot of support as far as service goes, so you can find a dealer in a lot of places in the country. Now, out of the electric bikes that I have reviewed, this one probably is my favorite. I think they've done a really great job with this next generation of the trike. And if you want to learn more about this, I'll put a link down in the description below. But until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.